Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the House of Hammers. We are here to motivate, lead with love, make sure that we show up for our people and focus on our roots, not our fruits. We want to make sure we stay people focused. That's our true return on investment. We've got our co-host, Mr. Christopher Okoye, with us today. Chris, how you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored, man. Peace and blessings to the people.
Fantastic weekend as usual. I know you got out on some speaking engagements, things like that. We're not going to touch on you drawing a line in the sand in youth football. But as we talked about before, the Walled Lake Braves are squaring off against the Northville Colts, who you spoke to. So we'll have you out with the boys before this week's game and make sure you get right with the Walled Lake Braves.
As our guests can attest to, I speak to all youth organizations. At the end of the day, it's just about pouring into the people.
Without us getting into it, we have an absolutely phenomenal guest today, and I am really excited to tell you a little bit more about her journey, the way that she leads. So without further ado, Queen, mother, coach, mentor, entrepreneur, and hammer in her own right, Miss Lakenya Burks from the Greater Metropolitan Youth Sports Association. Kenya, welcome to the House of Hammers. We are so fired up to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the opportunity.
And we met just by chance through Kevin Glenn a few years ago. Well, more than a few years ago now, right around COVID, I think it was.
Yes. It's been 45 years now.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to KG. KG told me a lot about you and told me what a servant leader that you are and continue to be. And you know how much I care about you, and you built a great relationship with Chris, and we're really excited to find out more about you. So let's just jump right into it. Give us the 2-minute version of who Lakenya Burks is. I know it's tough. Trust me, I could do 2 minutes of my own, and Chris could probably do 10, but we want to hear it from you.
Well, as he said it, my name is Lakenya Burks. I just go by Coach Kenya to many. I was born on the west side of Detroit. I graduated from Samuel C. Munford High School. My later education was at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I have a 20-year-old, guys, and I have a 16-year-old daughter, Angelica and Aaliyah. Proud mom of two queens, as I call raising queens is my hashtag for my daughters, who are heavily involved in all of my businesses. And my oldest daughter is also a full-time entrepreneur as well. So I am birthing leaders is what I try to do in my household, and then every kid that I touch. I run a nonprofit organization called Greater Metropolitan Youth Sports. We offer basketball, tackle football, girls flag football. We do a volleyball camp. We have a huge 7-on-7 spring season. And I run
huge cheerleading program.
I
got to give the ladies a shout out too.
Yes, competition is coming up. I have my second business. I do custom apparel, such as this hoodie. I probably made this one that I have on here. That's
interesting though. We didn't know you did your own custom apparel. Chris and I love to promote programs and beautiful organizations such as your own. Not to blow it up a little bit, but we do have some gifts for you. I don't know if you bring any gems stuff for us? Just you. You brought the queen of the gems.
Definitely bring some back.
Sister.
So
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, so awesome. That's actually really cool. A lot of people don't know that I do that because I promote the youth more than anything.
Absolutely.
I am just a servant. My title may be president, but this is all about the kids. So I'm behind the scenes on what I do, but I've been blessed to run my own business for 8 years. I actually walked away from corporate America in 2017, and I started this journey of entrepreneurship where I said, hey, I can do my own custom apparel, and actually started making it for my own cheer team. So it kind of grew into this passionate thing. I became really, really good at it. And I work with a lot of school districts, a lot of cheer teams all over. I ship. I do a lot of great things. Cheer bowls and bags is my specialty. I have a whole team of people who help me do that. I have a business in Southfield that we do those custom apparel items out of. And so then from there, I run a little league team still. I'm still dedicated to my own program, the Southfield Ravens football and cheer program. We've been around since 2002, and I started there as like a team mom, board member, and I'm now the president, right? So I've been serving in that capacity for about 7 years, I believe, as president of the organization. Which I love being able to have that one-on-one connection with the Ravens. It gives me that bond with the kids individually. From a gym's perspective, it's very high level. I may know some names and know some people, but with the Ravens, I'm actually touching you and I'm involved with like how's school going, how's class, how was your birthday party, type deal. So very more personable there. And then outside of that, I do some little fun things. I pop up and do pop-ups to kind of fundraise for the kids. I have a business called Greater Eats. So I'll go down and do festivals like at Hart Plaza, and I'll fundraise for the kids there. And I do a travel program called Detroit's Finest, where we take the kids out of town to travel, typically in our national tournament in Florida. We've taken like 100 athletes each year out of town for 8 days to compete in this tournament. And so that's been a big, big thing. I started that division in 2019, actually before gyms was even a thing. We started Detroit Finest Travel Program.
I love it.
Killing it.
That's just that's a small
business.
Now you can see why I led with Queen in her introduction, because the way that she moves, it is very Queen-like. And if you've ever watched Lakenya do business, I'll show up to a game and I know there's not a thing I have to worry about because she's got the security team on lock. Yes. She's got people working gates. She's got the 360 little photo thing. She's got trophies the size of Chris for the champions, table set up, blow up things,
My favorite part is the heat tent. Whenever I would pull up, it's like the little VIP. You go in there, you got the fireplace, the hors d'oeuvres.
She doesn't mess around. And every person I've dealt with, every person I've dealt with in the GEMS organization has been fantastic. From the DJs you've hired all the way down to just someone helping out or someone volunteering, like Kevin Jackson. I was able to meet KJ through you and Kevin again. Shout out to Kevin Glenn as well, and KJ, who's now a Detroit police officer.
Police officer, big guy.
Did he grow his beard back yet?
He definitely has his beard
Thank
back.
God.
He's doing amazing.
Man, he looked like a grade school kid when he shaved his beard off.
And the brothers got to keep the beard.
I know, man. I feel you. See, so I got a little silver in mine.
In the words of Steven, man, indubitably, man.
Beard gang. You know I love that one.
Ladies love the beard gang.
See?
Little tip.
Ladies, you hear that?
Allegedly.
Yeah, we don't know about that.
Okay.
But, you talked about leaving corporate America. That's a big leap of faith to go all in on yourself. That's one thing we talk a lot about on here is taking big chances. If you fail big and fail forward. What were some of the reservations you had when you started this journey, when you came right? Because you started GEMS from scratch.
Absolutely. Yeah. $0, zero funding. Just a heart and a passion to say, hey, we had a community problem and I had to come with a solution for the kids. So to give a little backstory to GEMS starting, Greater Metropolitan Youth Sports always existed. We had a different name included in it, but we were under the umbrella of a different organization at the time. And I was serving at what they called at the time the advisory board president. The organization, COVID strict, and just like many businesses, the organization could not host football and cheerleading. And in our community, we have thousands of kids who poured into cheerleading and football. At the time, it was like 4,500. And we were just like, hey, I know we have all these restrictions. We have to figure out a way to do safe play because we cannot leave these kids in the house all summer or fall. We have to find a solution. So a team and I got together and we created a COVID team. And this COVID team, we came up with a safety plan to say, hey, this is how we can safe play, maybe not do contact and things like that. Wear masks, like we went to straight water bottles, no squeezy bottles. We changed so many different things. We presented that to the health department and got approved. I then went to the city parks and recs because that's where we practice at. And I said, hey, I know the schools are shut down, but I got to get the kids on the field. Can I just work them out? Can we just do this? And so they agreed. So 11 organizations at the time, we had like 16, but 11 of them said, hey, we're gonna do it. Let's keep going. Let's keep playing. So that year, 2020, was so hard. I actually could not get a game going because I had to get schools to approve us. Shout out to Coy Parker from the former River Rouge.
Yep, Rouge.
Is he at Toledo now? Or
no, he left Toledo. He's at like Syracuse or somewhere. He took another big step.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal guy, but he was one of the first people who was a believer in what we were trying to do. So opened up River Rouge doors for us so we can have games. There was other schools who also participated. Shout out to DPS who was always there for us. And we started playing games like mid-September. So much later than what we're used to. We were able to get, I think, 6 games in and I could not play the championship. It was like the governor put us back on like lockdown. Right?
Oh yeah, we had that pause again. We had the same thing, and we were paused until like January for our playoffs.
Yeah. So what I did that year, because again, youth sports in our community is very competitive. These kids are very good. Coaches are very competitive, and so I did co-champions. Oh my God, they still probably talk about that to this day because the 2 semifinalists, I just named them both champions for the first year. So it was giving more kids an opportunity. But like I said, the organization who we were under at the time, they couldn't do it financially for dollars. So we said, hey, let's start Greater Metropolitan Youth Sports. We did it independently, and then we just kept it going. Like it just never stopped. It grew so much. We were very trained at football and cheerleading, and then birthed after that 2 years of foot basketball, and we have like one of the largest youth basketball programs. So we're just so grateful for what God has done. It definitely takes a lot of faith just to believe in yourself and to kind of go at it on your own. You know what I mean? And to be a woman, because I have to bring that up because that's one of the things that I'm hardly judged for because I am a woman. And I guess this has seemed to be a male-dominated lane to be like an athletic director of some sort, if you were to categorize what I do. But I'm just a servant of the youth. That's all I am.
That's all it is. It's the same thing that is the same exact thing that I do. And you're right. Do you feel like people have tried to take advantage of you because you are a female queen in this realm of football, which is, there's a lot of testosterone in the football world. Do you feel like some people have tried to take advantage of you because of that?
Yeah. This journey has not been easy for me. I have met people who I thought were friends, who turned out to be foes. I've met people who are copycats. Who came and learned things and then went and did their own thing, kind of did a spinoff of what we're doing, and who I thought, again, were friends. I am often labeled because of I'm not a football coach. How could a woman do it? But it takes good leadership. It doesn't take me being able to do X's and O's. I'm not running the play, but I can set up the play that the kids have an amazing experience and everybody who in our organization does. Our volunteers feel appreciated and welcome. We're at good venues. We're having a good family time and just having that culture, family vibe of togetherness. So what my spirit tries to bring is unity, and a kids first mentality that is about the youth and giving them opportunities as much as we can. So no matter the adversity that I faced over 6 seasons, because actually, and November 1st marks the conclusion of season number 6. So God is so good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, God is so good. So season 6 will be concluded, but I have been through so much. I've lost friends over this because I'm truly passionate about what we do for our youth and our community. And it takes a lot of sacrifice. My personal life isn't as fun as others because I'm working around the clock to try to make things happen and balance both my real paying job and my free job. You know what I mean? So it takes a lot.
It's funny you mentioned the word balance because we talk about it a lot. And we joke a little bit because most of the people that we've had on have families or have kids and things like that. And, Chris, no kids. He's on the dating scene. Not yet. Scene. Yes. He is. Yes, he is. Which we touch on that from time to time on here, right, Sean?
No, every time.
I think we could. If we were the type of people that would play drinking games, you could probably play a drinking game every time we bring that up about Chris.
Yeah, it's not it's every time.
It's just us. It's us giving you that final push forward, but
it's needed.
I still got time. I mean, you
plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't.
All right, take it easy here. We don't. Let's not.
Oh yeah, you see,
take it easy here.
Yeah.
But I know you've gotten to spend a lot of time around Kenya and the organization with some speaking engagements, just to chop it up with the kids and be around such a positive environment that's affecting so many kids. Not just in the city of Detroit, because you've got the Ipsy Braves that are part of the organization.
Absolutely.
So you're not just in Metro Detroit.
Absolutely no.
You've got a really good outreach, and you guys cast a wide net.
Man, absolutely.
What's that been like for you to go there and just spend time with so many kids who are hungry to be loved and motivated?
I absolutely love it. I mean, we talk about the importance of like building young men. I think she does a really, really good job about that. She brings in people from all different aspects of life, different career paths, and she's making sure that they're getting touch points with the kids. I think she does a good job, unlike other organizations, of teaching them that you're going to take these same skills, right, that you're applying on the field, and I want you to take them into life, into the classroom, into entrepreneurships, into every avenue that you want to hop in that lane and drive in. And that's so important for our community, but for all communities, to have that level of exposure. I always say exposure changes situations. You have to, before you can do something, you're the first know of it. And she's doing a really, really good job of exposing our kids. And cause I'm from the west side of Detroit, so there's a lot of things that I didn't get exposed to until high school or until going to a private school like CC, that she's giving these kids early glimpses of. I never saw this campus until my first day of summer school. She's giving kids the opportunity to see things outside of their neighborhood. I mean, at a very early age. I mean, we're talking about like Florida. Most of our people, we don't travel. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So she's taking them to Florida, letting them know like this is what it's like to check a bag, go through TSA. Like these are very monumental experiences that every young individual needs to happen, right? It sucks when your first time boarding a plane might be college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
Your first time discussing like job interviews or how to dress for success or etiquette. Like these things are major, and she's giving her kids very, very early exposure, which is, I mean, just a major blessing. And I really appreciate, give her flowers, and applaud her. And that's why anytime she asked me to come through, I mean, what team was that? Like just by happenstance.
I know. I think we were at a scrimmage. Was it like the
Yeah, it was-
Jaguars and the Ravens? I think. And he was there, and I think he was related to somebody, right? On one of the
my cousin that just like last minute, like, hey man, I need you to come and can you come and speak to our kids? And I went over there, like similar to your situation. I don't ask questions. If I can come and pour in, I just come. And so
if you're trying to get out of the Northville Colts Braves rivalry talk, it's not going to happen.
that's all I'm
Keep
saying.
going. I get it. If someone calls you to come serve, you come serve.
I come serve. I don't ask any questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to serve
All
God's
right.
people. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So, I mean, similar situation. I mean, I think I was on my way to a conversation with Barnes & Nobles, and I just literally like, all right, stop, put up, poured into them, and then left. And then she's like, oh my God, it's crazy. We're working with each other even when we're not working with each other. And just like the importance of those touch points, and I think even the work you're doing, I mean, it's amazing, and it definitely is always appreciated. I mean, even when you came up, I was like, whatever you need.
Yeah, thank you. I can sincerely say that the family here at CC is definitely a family. I recently had a loss in my family. I had 2 losses back to back this year. And when I say I felt so much supported by you guys more than any other school, and it was like, I'm not comparing anything, but it was like the care and thought and the follow-up and just the being concerned about me, like even after the fact, it means so much. It goes so far because, I'm still human, you know what I mean? So that matters,
That's
so
all that matters.
Yeah.
That's it. To me, and I've told you this since day one, I don't care if we get one kid out of the GEMS program. Obviously, I would love to show kids this experience, but I told you that minute one when I first met you. I was here for the kids to make sure they had a great experience and for you. So for me to watch your growth, and the thing I love about you is when you're struggling, you don't hold it in. You're vocal with it. You'll post little things, and I know you're going through something. And to be honest, I reach out to Kenya quite a bit and just tell her I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
We're here for you. We believe in you. Anything you ever need, and it's never. I hope you don't feel like that. I've never asked for anything in return because I like to audit my circle and put people around me that I love, that lead with love and love tough. You're one of those people. Chris is one of those people. Sean knows that he's one of those people. And the older I get, I think I'm realizing that I just want people around me that motivate me to be great. If I fail, they pick me up. And that's what you do a great job of. Who are some of the people that helped you build your armor? Because I know you get a lot of arrows shot at you and you have throughout life, and starting this organization and other organizations maybe trying to take shots at you and people saying you don't do this or you're a woman and this and that.
Yeah.
Who are some of the people that helped you build your armor to combat things like that and just stay the course?
So I am I'm what we call a pew baby in my community, right? So I'm very faith-based. My mother, who just recently transitioned, really kept me grounded in God's word in church. So I was one of those, I was at Bible study, Friday night service, 2 services on Sunday type of kid, right? So
And those aren't short services.
They're not. It's like your whole life. Okay?
It's like, a full Sunday.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Which is beautiful.
You eat in between. Like, you got to stay there. You don't
It's
get
faith
to
and
go.
fellowship, true faith and fellowship.
What is the thing you
know
do
what
in the
I'm
morning? Sunday school. So
Yeah,
Sunday school is the first thing you do.
Yeah, Sunday school. Yep.
Yeah, so it's a whole...
the spaghetti dinners,
Yeah,
with the chicken
you get this,
wings,
yes,
little
and the pound cake. So
This is what I love. They're mentioning all kinds of food that I love too. I'm sure you could bring a guest to a service. I'll spend a whole Sunday. No problem. I have no problem with that.
Absolutely,
Please.
man. We have Lindsay with the baked goods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she'll come through.
Shout out to
with some.
Sean, Miss Sober.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So really, really faith-based. So my mom just really kept me there. And I think that I know for sure that all this is God. Like, everything that I do, like, I pray a lot. I manifest a lot of things. I continue to pour into myself. Gary Vee was really one of my heavy influencers, right? Like, I'm a real big
Kenya.
I swear, I'm a big Gary Vee fan. So he's so aggressive, right? He's so sharp. He's so witty. So before I left corporate America, this is free game. So before I left corporate America, every day I would hype myself up. So I would listen to him. I would listen to E.
Ooh, hip hop
man.
preacher.
Man, so
you talking my people.
I would pour into my spirit every day to motivate myself, like every day. Like, I would drill myself, like, so it's constantly in my ear. So Sarah Jakes Roberts is my new one, because I just needed to, the woman vibe, right? You know what
absolutely.
I mean? So, and they just give me so much like energy to pursue when I feel like I can't, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's hard, and then I have an amazing team of people, which I need to shout all of them out. Some people have been down me for forever. Maya Mason, Sydney Randolph, Kevin Jackson, Vanita Lawson, Daniel Lee, Dewan Lee. My team is far like beyond Renee, who's no longer with us but still with us. Kristen Keel, who's no longer with us but still with us. They just have my back. And when I'm surrounded by good people who love to lead, but we all have one passion about the kids. So because we're truly passionate about what we do, the voice of James, DJ James, Coach James, who you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like these people are all like they're there with me. So I don't feel like I'm going through it alone, you know? And that's the part. Because it got really rocky at one point. At one point in time, Sean, I know you don't know, so I got to talk to you, right? At one point in time, we got like cut in half. You know what I mean? The org went from the largest, I was the largest in the state of Michigan. Nobody was doing it, to 2 different organizations came out the same year that I was also operating. Nobody had ever done what I was doing. So there was only 2 entities that offered youth sports, right? And I became the third one, and everybody was shocked because it's like, wait, how do you go against these big brands, right?
That have been around for a while.
50 years,
Yes.
40 years, whatever, right? And I was like, because I know we are the people who's doing it. It wasn't those organizations, it was we the people. So I said we could stand alone. And so we have been. So good people.
I want to make I want to touch on something that Babbitt says a lot, and you just touched on is, let's talk about the importance on, at the end of the day, with all the commotion, with all that we go through, it's about the kids. It's about those, talk about the Brazilian motto. It's about the foundational building blocks of young men. And how do you guys go about just keeping that at the forefront with all the adult drama, all the politics? How do you stay intentional about, it's about the kids?
It's a continuous reinforcement. You know, I actually typed up an email before coming here this morning just to give some guidelines, or reiterate guidelines for this upcoming championship games. And, you know, I close it with the kids, I open it with the kids, right? Because it's a constant. Unfortunately, our community has lost their way. We love the competition of what we do. We are the largest in our community that does what we do, but we have become unhealthy at competition, right? We're to the point where we're doing anything to win a trophy. We were able to eliminate things with cheating in our organization because we require every kid to have a state ID. So you can't put a big Chris out there talking about he's 14, okay? That's done. Like you
Ken,
can't.
you do realize he was the same size at 14.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he was.
I was the youngest person in my class.
Class of 14, maybe.
Yeah, like I think my first year in the league, I was like 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've always been super young for my grade.
Yeah.
You know, those Nigerian jeans, you know.
Yeah. I got you. Superhuman. It's cool. So we just have to continuously reinforce it. I want to do more with our volunteers. I want to do more with our parent base. They have changed a lot. You know, I've been serving in this capacity for 20 years with youth, and I have just seen it change, right? So where you used to have, you know, strong family households, you know, a lot of homes do have 2 parents in them, although we think they don't, they do. And to seeing that, to just seeing people just be so like caught up in their own motivation. And it's not about the kids, where you got the dads really trying to live through the kids. So it's very distracting. It's very distracting at times. We put policies in place where, like, if you get into an altercation, that you're banned from our organization. That has worked tremendously. We adopted that 3 years ago. We kind of eliminated any of the drama. So that means that if you are involved, you're parent A, you're parent B, you guys get into it, right? Like altercation, yelling match, whatever it could be. In a sense, you are removed and your kids are. So your kids have to suffer.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate, but that's the only way that I could grab attention. And unfortunately, I've had to use the rule. We had to apply. Me and KJ have sent suspension notices out, and we have to do, because we have to show that this environment is about family. This is about togetherness. This is about unity. I want these kids to know they go to the same school. So no matter what color I wear on Saturday or Sunday, I might wear purple, you might wear yellow, but we're still the same.
Yep.
And we could end up on the same high school team together. We could end up on the same collegiate team together. So I don't want them to think that they're in a gang, right? This is not a gang. This is a brotherhood, right? And it starts very, very, very young. So if I can just continue to drain that into the parent's head, well, I'm not against you because we wear 2 different colors or we're sitting on the different sides of the goal line. We can only do this if we work together. You know what I mean? What is it if we have one other organization, right? We all got to work together to do this, you know?
Yep.
Unity, man. And how do you deal? I mean, one of the things, I was just talking to Mr. Collins and Mr. Marmol, man, shout out to Jake. We were just talking about how a lot of this, like, you know, Catholic League kind of like rivalry, man, when you go to college, man, like it's kind of like you start hanging with those guys. You start working in corporate America, or you start working at organizations. I mean, the amount of events I've went and spoke to, and there's a Rice grad or a Marist grad or a U of D grad. I mean, one of my best friends, Gregory Leatherwood, I mean, he's a U of D guy. So, but back on topic, I mean, like, how do you keep the kids at the forefront, right? We talk about things like even having to deal with country club sports. I mean, parents, man, I paid all this money for training, or, oh, I need to make sure my kid's a 3-star or 4-star. I want these accommodations, or I want this facilities. And, you know, it can be a lot, man. And you've been doing this for 30 plus years. Like, how do you keep the kids at the forefront?
I haven't been doing it 30 plus years. I mean, I know it's year 16 or 17, but honestly, you have to be a little bit humble. You put yourself, not even second, you put yourself 25th on the list. Obviously, I'm a big proponent and I love the way you speak about yourself when you say you pour into yourself. You have to love yourself before you can pour love out into anybody else. So number one, I make sure I love myself, which I kiss my own picture in the hallway on a daily basis. The kids dog me out about it, but I tell them, you got to be your own biggest fan, which is true. You have to be. So I think about that, and I really think about, how do I want my own personal culture to reflect what I do here with our kids? So when I get here, I know that the kids are the key to our culture. They got to hear it, see it, feel it. So if I can continue to pour into them, I might be frustrated with another adult in my life, maybe even somebody here, because it's as big of a family as this is. It's like a family. Sean can tell you. I mean, we get after each other. We motivate each other. We laugh together. We celebrate. We mourn. We cry. We pray. All that stuff together. So, but when I go out in the hallways and I see the youthfulness in these kids and how much they look to the adults, regardless of where we're from, that's what keeps me centered. And the complaints are always going to be there and things like that. But I'll flat out tell parents, listen, I know you pay tuition to go here. That doesn't mean you have more of a say than you do. That means you're paying to trust people like me, our coaches, teachers, mentors, and things like that. And like you said, it's building a great team. I want people around me that understand the kids are the number one focus. Our journeys in terms of being high school athletes are already done. It's not about us. And I do see what you talk about in your organization and in the city and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's like that everywhere. Trust me. We're out here in the burbs coaching, like I said, I'm coaching the Walled Lake Braves. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of the same stuff. A lot of parents who are living through their kids. Mm-hmm. Maybe they want a different version of the journey for their kids than their own kid wants. So it's a balance. And it's honestly being a good listener, I think, is the biggest thing. If you talk to the kids and find out what makes them tick, you can keep them at the forefront. They're struggling, like you and I talk. Plenty of kids here, real live start when they leave the hallways here. Mm-hmm. And I think we do a good job and good leaders, and you do the same thing. You realize that, all right, kids might go home and they might not have food in their cupboards, or mom and dad might be working, or they're in a single parent household and said parent was working the night shift and they're really raising themselves, maybe even their siblings when they get home. So it's honestly for me just keeping an open heart and realizing I'm good at what I do because of the kids that are around me and the adults that I continue to bring into my circle, like you guys and Sean and so many others. So
1,000%. So I know we were recently voted the #1 student athlete experience in the country. So shout out to our communications team doing a good job of putting it out there. And one thing I really have learned from the both of you guys is you guys do a really good job at cultivating the student athlete experience. And I would love for you to kind of talk about that, like the importance of setting the right type of vibe, cultivating the right type of experience. Like we talked about at the beginning, like how well you run an event and how when you show up, it feels good. I remember, even before I kind of started doing like outreach back when I was still playing, I remember one time Tony said, hey, bro, can you just stop by for a few minutes and just say what's up, maybe pub your book. And I remember supposed to stop by for a few minutes, but the vibes were just flowing to before I knew it. I had been there for like 4 hours. And just talk about the importance of experience and how you guys go about setting the tone and cultivating the type of experience that makes people want to stay, that leads to the amazing organization that both of you guys have been able to cultivate.
I can say from the outside looking in, and I'll keep it quick, when I walked out to what you guys were doing at the very first event we hosted, I was blown away. I mean, you had every bell and whistle out there you could possibly think of for the kids. No adults on the field, just coaches, the kids, the guys working the chains and the officials, and then your support people. But from the outside looking in, I love what you do with the kids. So I would love for you to touch on that, on the student athlete experience from the cheerleaders down to football and hoop.
Yeah, so for sure. So I believe in leading with excellence. So my team often hears me say that. I tell my kids about leading with excellence. So I believe in that. And I want to give them something that they don't see. Right. So I know that introducing them to environments such as campuses like CC, which has grown since I've been here. So I've been in a relationship with you guys, like I said, 4 to 5 years. This whole part that the glass wasn't even there. Right.
No.
So there's been expansion. But if I can show them things, which is why I take the kids out of town, because my first trip on an airplane out of town was through the robotics program through my high school. Right. So I was able to travel, do a DAPSET program, and I was able to get on a plane and I learned all these things. So if I can open up their imagination to what they don't know, then I know that I can show them this is what you can have, right? So this is like Like, hey, you can go to CC. You're just as good as anybody else. You can have this opportunity. And even so much as so when I'm showing these new experiences and I'm trying to say, hey, you can be anything you want to be. Like I literally was just preaching that last night because I was mini coaching. And I was just saying that there's no opportunity that's too big for you. You know what I mean? So I tried to tell them about academics a lot more. We're going to do so many new things that I really can't talk about. But in 2026, I'm going to
you can feel free to drop a couple.
You know what I mean? 2026, I'm going to be doing a lot more because I realized that that's one of our failures in our community for our athletes. So many boys didn't make it because their grades aren't good, right? Just imagine how much talent we would have if you had the dogs who had good grades, right? 100%. Man, it would be like, I mean, D1 is what? It would be like they couldn't take everybody. You know what I mean? So if we can really get that balance, student athlete balance under it, because I know football means so much to them, but if we can tie that into them academically where there are penalties if you are not performing here, then we know we can get a better product out of the kids. So for me, it's just really just showing them exposure, as you mentioned earlier, to things that they may not normally see on an everyday basis, but showing them that they can attain that goal with hard work.
1,000%. I mean, we talk about all the time the importance of being a well-balanced individual, right? Yeah. Mind, body, spirit, goodness, discipline, knowledge. And that was the big message that I share with your guys, I've shared with his guys. I mean, I just share with the world, whether it's Little League sports, whether it's a college team, whether it's corporate, is the amount of time and intentionality that it takes to be great at something. So if you've ever been great at anything, whether it's ballet, cheer, robotics, math class, whenever you want to transfer that skill, you have to understand that it's going to take that same amount of effort, energy, time, and intentionality to be great. And it's so important. So if I'm in the weight room for an hour, I'm at practice 2 hours a day. If you want to be a great student, you're going to have that same transference of skill over into the classroom. Yeah. And I'm just so big on making sure that young men, all people understand that the same energy that you have on the field is the same energy I want you to have with your faith and the same energy I want you to have when it comes to your academics. Because you need all these things to be a husband, to be a father, to be a leader in your community. At the end of the day, all four of our goals to what? Raise great young men and women, right? And so I would love for you to touch on how to cultivate just great student athlete experience. I mean, we do it bigger than most. We got the fire flames. We got fire trucks pulling up for dunk tank. Well, I guess it's on
concussion grenades going off.
It's amazing.
We had a neighborhood behind us celebrating Douale last week. So in the middle of our game, fireworks and stuff are going off, and people are like, "Who scheduled these?" I'm like, "That's not us. It's the neighborhood. We would do that." But
shout out to myself.
To be totally honest, it's really just like I say all the time, leading with love,
1,000%,
and focusing on our roots, not the fruit. And we say it endlessly here. And like I said, I stole
Break that down for the people, though.
I stole that from a book called The No Complaining Rule that John Gordon wrote. One of my favorite authors, very motivational, wrote The Energy Bus, countless others. But he talked about focusing on your roots, and that's your people. Like you and I have said, people are your ROI. That's the people in your relationships are your true return on investment. Yeah. So he talks about if you focus on your people and they're at the forefront of your culture, then every piece of fruit you want is attainable. So if we stay focused on the kids, we stay focused on each other. One thing you touched on, you want academics, spirituality. The one thing that the kids have to really focus on and put a lot of their energy into is building the right relationships, understanding who you need to have around you. If you have a negative person around you all the time, they're going to fill your bucket with negativity and you might not have a chance to empty it. So I'm big on leading with love, like I said, and focusing on our people, giving grace, motivating, showing up for them when I might not feel at 100%. I mean, we're in the middle of the playoff grind right now. I know you were looking for a venue, and I'm so sorry we couldn't help out this week. You know, it was killing me.
I know it's okay because that's what I said.
But shout out to the Tractors over at Fortson High School. Yes. I got a lot of friends over at Fortson. Great facility, so they'll do a great job. But I'm happy you guys were able to find that. I know you were a little nervous.
I was a little.
But like I said, lead with love, focus on the roots, and even when I'm not feeling it, just show up for our people. I can be in my own feels at home and, maybe need some time to self-reflect and get my balance back to being where it needs to be, but just loving my people and loving what I do. I mean, it's that simple. We've used the word balance a couple times in this podcast and in this interview. You have so much stuff going on. Like I said, You're constantly evolving. You're an entrepreneur. You're a mother of a college student and a young woman. You're leading this organization. I could name 10 other things that you're doing. You've started multiple businesses in the past and things like that. How do you find your balance?
Man,
it's a great one, isn't it?
That's a tough one because, you know, I don't know if I got it all together, Sean. Like some days.
Neither do we.
None of us do. None of us
fake it till you make it.
I be like, is the world happening? Am I doing anything? You know, but I do try to make to-do lists, check things off. I try to keep myself very, very grounded. Like, you know, Monday I was like, oh wait, my calendar didn't notify me. So even trying to get myself more organized, having people to help me. So what I learned how to do was to lead, was to delegate, right? Even though I can do everything, but I can't do everything.
That's tough to do.
Like, so yeah, I can design a flyer, but I don't have to design every flyer, right? You know, I don't have to do all the game schedules. Other people can do it. So learning how to say, hey, this is your role, this is your task, do your thing. And if you need me, I'm here. And then you can just check with me if you have a question, but do your thing and let them do it. And it's going to be great. But for a person who, you know, could have been at one point in time, maybe not me, a control freak to some extent, because you want this great product. You want this excellent experience. So you don't want any detail missed. But letting people lead has been one of my greatest, I think, balancing acts, because I've allowed other people to come into my circle and say, hey, take this up off me. And I have even my amazing team. I forgot some names from the Ravens. Leonardo Booth, Lanisha Stevenson, Wakita Winston. These people are principals, business owners, you know, corporate bosses, and they make a lot happen for the youth, but they give me this balance that I can handle and a lot of prayer. Like I do spend time in prayer a lot. So I make myself pray that the first thing in the morning and then throughout the day. Like I have to have a relationship with God so that he can give me strength. This is I'm on some like robot type stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So let me explain my night last night, Sean. So I left my shop about 2 a.m. And I knew that I had a crazy deadline today, a full schedule. So I said, okay, let me get up by 6:30, went back to the shop by 7, sent some emails, did some work, got that done, left the shop by 9:30, got dressed to come here, right? So it's like you have to program yourself. If you want greater, you got to give greater. You got to do greater. So like I push myself past my limits often. So that's why when I have a good time, I have a good time because I've been to work so hard that I deserve a good time because I put so much into myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself. But balancing is with the other people around me because I can't do it all.
I will say this. I think the three of us do a good job of it. We're very professional in what we do, but if we're outsid, we will let people know.
We outside. Like that's, outside.
That's the thing. Like
I saw you outside at the you know, Mr. Fisher's the boat event.
Yeah, the NAMI event.
Oh yeah. And,
you went to that?
Mental health. Yeah, mental health matters, right? Right. And we didn't just talk about that. Why did we talk about mental health and the youth and the community? But
we'll touch on it.
Yeah.
But we need to coordinate calendars better because Mr. Fisher I love to death, and then I know we were both at the Lions game on Monday night, so we should have got a picture.
We've
there.
never done any adult time together. Actually,
it's just kids based, and which isn't a bad. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Too, but we just never done it.
We'll find more.
I mean, I caught you outside with the vibes. You know what I'm saying? We was outside with the vibes.
How was the food at that event?
Honestly, it was pretty good. What they had
Mr. Fisher he's not a little dude. He doesn't mess around.
That's what I was talking to him about. Yeah. You know, we got the shout out to the Fisher Foundation. We have the event downtown. What's the Brazilian steakhouse downtown?
Texas de Brazil.
Yeah, we got the Texas de Brazil, so that'd be a great event.
That's dangerous for me and you to go to.
Man,
I think
I'll lose money.
Oh, I put I think when I would go, when I was preparing for my pro day, going for the combine and everything, I remember I weighed in immediately after going to a Brazilian steakhouse, and I put on a legit 16 pounds.
What?
Have you seen him eat?
Yeah, we talked about it because we've done lunch. So we have done lunch meetings before, Sean. And they always tease Chris about the food that he can consume. And I'm like, you're always getting picked on, Chris.
We tease because we love.
Okay.
We tease because we love.
Yeah. So I mean,
don't think he doesn't give it back. Trust me, he gives it back out daily.
Okay.
Daily. He's got some terms that he throws at me daily. You know,
I'm from the old school. I believe that we could critique in private, you know what I'm saying? But we praise in public. So in public with my people, you'll see me encouraging them and loving them up and being their biggest fan. But, in private, I got to tell them about themselves.
For sure.
Allegedly.
We do have to, we always say to each other and kind of laugh about it. We're like, we wonder if people realize like how close we were because we cap on each other nonstop.
And I think people forget that I've known AB since I was 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of
growth.
He's seeing me through, all phases of life. Sometimes some people meet me as, okay, man of God, speaker, author, entrepreneur, NFL player. But like, man, he knows me as like the little 300 kid trying to play lacrosse. I can't play quarterback. I'm cool on y'all.
12 different haircuts over the years.
I'm saying he knew me when I had the blonde hair. I was with the man.
I'll send you
with
some.
with the man bun. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
my hairstyle's been the same since I've met him. So just in case
his
you're
weight's
wondering.
fluctuated a little bit.
He works out though.
Yeah,
He
and then I mean, obviously, majority of his life, I've known him. He was single, and then he got married at 43.
I grew up. I got married before that.
He is throwing shots about this marriage, and she's gorgeous, and they have a beautiful family.
I'm so lucky. You talk about a queen. I mean,
house of hammers, literally.
Just so. I don't know how I got. Well, the only reason I got so lucky is God finally found the right fit for me and opened my heart up and helped me grow up a little bit. So 1,000%. Very, very blessed. But
I like what you said too, Chris, about how we need to really get back to that. So maybe it's because of our roots that, we grew up knowing to get married and to be faith-based and to be like, maybe that's the problem we have with some of the adults who attend our events, right? Like the structure has changed. Like that foundation isn't
focus.
there.
Oh yeah, the paradigm has shifted.
Yeah.
It's not family first no more.
Yeah, so like our kids probably wouldn't be able to talk about the pound cakes and spaghettis because they ain't, but this was our real life.
That's how you were brought up.
They're talking about the DoorDash ministry.
You hear me?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
The DoorDash.
Okay. That's what they know, man. These kids are eating Chipotle and crab legs. So they're just a whole different. I didn't have crab legs growing up. You know what I mean? So it's like,
if I did, it was for a very, very special occasion.
Right.
And it wasn't the all you can eat either. Like you got maybe 2 crab legs. That was like your treat with like.
I mean, I feel like all 4 of us, we grew up in that generation of like, you eat what mama and daddy cook.
Oh, there wasn't a choice.
No options. It wasn't no.
Or you don't eat.
Right, that's it.
It wasn't no, I can't do the gluten and I'm watching the carbs and
I want my spaghetti with no sauce. My kids eat buttered noodles with no. I'm like, no spaghetti sauce?
I have kids all the time. Like, no, I'm carnivore, and I told my mom it has to be 93.7, and it has to be organic, and if it's not at Whole Foods, mother, I won't dare touch it. And I'm like, oh wow, okay.
I think of some of the food we ate as kids. These kids wouldn't even.
You know what I'm saying? Or the bowl of cereal ministry. You just go grab your bowl of cereal, call it a night, or the ramen noodle diet.
I hate to admit this, but the other night I came home and I had a huge bowl of Frosted Flakes. Everybody else was sleeping, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna. Sure enough, as soon as I start pouring it in the bowl, my 7-year-old wakes up, Bo, who's named after Bo Jackson. Shout out to Bo Jackson, the greatest athlete ever.
I know he needs
Bo, here's the cereal pour. Daddy, you eating cereal? I was like, what do I do here? Like, we don't lie in the house. I was like, no. He's not going to watch it, so we're safe. He's only 7.
Okay.
But, one thing you did touch on, and I deal with it on my own because I constantly try to find ways to get better. We talked about mental health.
Yeah.
Not only in the greater community, but in your community as well, when you're dealing with your kids who are going through different challenges than some kids out in the suburbs. They both have challenges, but they're different. When you talk about mental health, what are some of the things that you guys are trying to attack? Like you said, I love, and when you said be greater, you said that earlier, and I always know you said we are greater. It's on everything you promote.
Yeah.
When you talk about mental health, how are you trying to help them build their armor, like I said earlier, which is straight from the Bible, build your armor against the schemes of the devil? What are some of the things that you're doing or some needs that you see in terms of mental health that are needed in the community?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we've had some events that happened over the course of 6 years that we're not always proud of. There was a shooting at one park one time. It was very traumatic, very, very, very traumatic. Immediately partnered with CNS Healthcare, a mental health organization who's also one of the sponsors, like CC, for that boat ride. And then there's a counselor at a high school, and I reached out and said, hey, can you come? So we went to every single site to touch every single kid because that was important to me, even if they were there or not there. Everybody who was a part of our organization.
They all heard about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you did, right? So it was a big community thing. So it wasn't necessarily like it wasn't people within our organization, but it still happened around them because we don't play in the safest of places and all. We from the city. It's just what it is, right? Detroit ain't the safest place on the planet, right? But those of us who grew up in there, we can adapt to that environment. Although I'm still saying these are precious babies, right? I don't care if they are 5 or 14, they're still babies. They don't know anything, right? So when these things happen, you have to explain it to them, right? So I try to jump on every single thing that happens right away. We've unfortunately had losses. Like we've lost kids. We lost a kid to a drowning. mental health. I'm bringing therapists right out. Like I'm trying to attack it, and not just we lost a little girl to an asthma attack, and she wasn't even still with our program. She had left us and went with another program, but she was just with us the previous season. But to me, it still mattered. So
Absolutely.
I had to address it in our program. So anytime that these things are happening, I'm trying to find ways to incorporate people who specialize in these things to help me encourage the kids and say, hey, there's another way, because there are struggles at home that I know that are happening outside. There are kids who are not eating. There are kids who come to us like, I'm hungry.
Yep.
At 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. Thank God for programs like Meet Up and Eat Up. And I'm not even sure if we can still do free lunch in schools now, but if they are still doing it, thank God for programs like that. Because some of these kids outside of their youth programs, they wouldn't have things. You know what I mean? So partnering with the right organizations, which is a part of what I'm going to do more in 2026, about just touching the mental health thing, because it's really, really needed. Kids are being more vocal about what they need, which I'm very happy about. Young men are really saying, hey, I'm not having a good day. Whereas before, how Chris may have been brought up is weak to show your emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are now saying, tell me your emotions. What's going on? Trying to break down
How
what's
did this
happening.
make you feel?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like asking those questions and being in tune with them and just checking on somebody. How was your day today? I don't care if they're 5 or 14. Just simply, how was your day today? Just simply just making them important. That means so much to me. You know what I mean? So this is not something about I'm doing this for a show or anything or a check, because I'm clearly not getting one. This is really about trying to change and mentor these kids into being better than me. I want them to be better than me, you and Chris and Sean.
Yep.
I'm trying to create people who are the next presidents and who are the next doctors and surgeons, but who are innovators in that field, right? Like, because I know that our kids have the talent to do it. And I'm sure you know this, athletic director of the world, okay? Because you're not just of CC. You're so in tune with what you do here. It's so amazing to watch. Like, I think, how many sports programs? You said 22 or 19?
We got 18.
18. Okay, I was close because I know I follow everything.
We're getting close. I got
say.
a couple more that are probably going to pop up here.
Right, but then to see, so we have our state has the most kids in the NFL, right? And unfortunately, that's all their dreams. And Chris, I know you're going to tell them the real truth behind all of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, but that's their dreams, right? All their parents, like you mentioned, training. We didn't talk about it, but they're going crazy about this training. If you got a kid who you think is QB1 at 6, right? They're now, he has to have extra training. What?
Yep, you're sending them to Huff at 5 years old.
It's ridiculous. I'm
Shout out to P80 Huff,
can
my
he
former
read
teammate.
a full book yet? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they're
What's the
investing-
focus?
Right. So they're investing these money because everybody's dreams is to go to the league, right? But we do have the largest percentage of kids in the league. So because of that, I said we don't get enough love in our city. We don't get enough work because our kids don't even have the right resources. Here at CC is something different. I'm a huge fan of CC, right? The ice baths and the equipment that they have and the 2 gyms and the trainers and the nutritionists, like all those things matter, right? But I'm saying if we continue to show them and expose them to programs like CC and find ways that our families can get into these programs, we are going to change the world. It just takes people like us.
One thing we always talk about in my book, Extreme Gratitude, which both of you guys are privy to, is like we also need to teach not only our youth, but even our adults, is the importance of maximizing and leveraging everything, right? Or as the Bible says it, being faithful over few so God can make you ruler over many. What you do with the few things, it's the same way you'll handle a lot. And also the importance of, can we talk about back in the day? Okay, yeah, we got ice tubs. What ever happened to going up to the corner store and getting you a bag of ice and throw it in the tub, though?
Yeah.
They also have to be more aware and more privy of that, because I'm pretty sure, Sean wrestled. Mr. Babbitt's played a plethora of different sports. Come on, man. Use that ice tub.
It's a way.
Listen, first of all, I don't understand how the cold plunge, all of a sudden, people act like this is a new thing. Me and you were taking ice baths back in the day, but the bathtub and stuff.
Let's not get it twisted. The CC, we still have a steel tub that we used back when I was in high school, and that I used as a pro.
It was there when I was here.
So even when I played for the Bengals, even that's 18, 19 as a rookie, it was still the steel cold tubs. I think Instagram and the TikTokification of the world has wanted people to have luxuries before they deserve it. Certain things have to be earned.
Yep.
You appreciate things.
It's not just given to you.
I think one of the greatest things that you used to always say that would always kind of stay in my head when I was training is success is rented. It's never owned. And rent is due every single day.
Daily.
You can't bank on what you did yesterday. You can't bank on what you did last season. Even right now, NVIDIA, Tesla, they're all reporting as earnings reports. You can't bank on Q1 and Q2 earnings. What have you done lately? And a lot of our students think, or not our students, our young athletes, our older athletes, this idea or this, I mean, you love Gary Vee, so we talk about this entitlement that what? Oh, you can't train properly because you don't have the best of the best. Are you the best of the best? Has your effort, has your discipline, has your accountability, has it been the best of the best? Have you maximized and fully utilized your current resources before you ask for, oh, what's next? I mean, because now that we're all adults, I mean, the same way you spend $20, the same way you're gonna spend $20,000.
Absolutely.
I know you may think, you have to stack the proper habits, right? Yeah. The same way the prophets spoke to groups of 3 were the same way they spoke to 300 and 3,000, right? The same way you were moving and operated in year 1, right? With half a league is the same way you're moving and operated now that you have one of the fastest growing leagues. And it's just that importance of the reallocation and the allocation of energy. And that's just one of the biggest things. I mean, as a speaker and I'm going and working with people is this idea of more. Oh, once I have this, I'm gonna do this. Or once I have this, I'm gonna do that. We live in a world right now where we have a plethora of information, a plethora of opportunities, but not a plethora of execution, not a plethora of getting things done. How is it that with the advancement of AI, the advancement of technology, with the advancement of resources, how are reading levels dropping? How are injuries going up? Yet we have new turf. We can update artificial grass every single day, right? We got the best hydration stations.
You could go on YouTube and figure out how to heal your own body or put the right. I mean, with Chat GPT, you can put a diet in there. There's so many different things but that's what you do though. That's what I love what you're doing with your kids. You're showing them these different avenues, these different tools they can use, exposing them to different things. Like I said, I will say this, we have a couple GEMS kids here and they are phenomenal young. I mean, they are the perfect representation of what you teach in that program. So when like I see them be great on a daily basis, I really do. They're engaging. They're great kids. They smile. They're happy. They work. They understand that the work is the work. And I think that's one of the biggest things. And I think one of the things I'm most inspired about by having Lakenya here and Chris, I constantly tell you this too. You guys understand that it's about as old school as it gets. Like you were saying, what have you done lately? Immediately I thought of the Jody Watley song. What have you done for me lately? And I'm like, it's true. You can't change anything that happened yesterday. Like we were joking, like I do have to blow Kenya up a little bit on here because we did have this schedule for a Monday. Today we find ourselves on Thursday.
We do.
But she hit me up and she's like, listen, I'm exhausted. I slept in. And I told her, don't rush. I want you to be the happiest, best version. Now I find out you were out till 3 a.m. working, got up at 6. But I know that's how you move, and you're such an inspiration. I don't know if you realize that to me, to Chris, to the people that have become part of your extended circle. When I put down and I read up a little bit, and I know a lot about you already, but I just typed your name in, and the first word that popped up was Queen. The first word. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I put that in your introduction, because you truly do lead in a queen-like fashion. You're good with your people. You drop the hammer when you need to. You love them when you need to. You give them tough love when they need it. And you make sure that you add a little bit of discipline and a lot of faith to it. And that's why you're so special to me, why I love you. I'm so proud of what you continue to do. If you can give the people that watch this, that listen to it, one tip, one positive takeaway today, what would it be?
Keep God first, but be the hardest worker in the room. Man, be hard, work hard. Like, don't ever think you know everything. I learn something every single day. Every single day, I got to learn something. I got to teach myself something new. I have to research something, watch a YouTube video, read an article. So learn something every single day of your life, because you can always be greater. You can always do more. So push yourself to the limits. I think what you were touching on was like really being lazy, right? Like that's really just a lazy, like
keep it 100.
They just not doing it. We doing it. We're showing up. It's hard for all of us. Like raising families, trying to work a job, keeping that family together, because you got to pour into your family too, right? I know your wife is like, wait, so you got a game at 8, you got to be there at 5, you got to come back, you got to take you are balancing it.
Did you talk to her recently or something?
I just know how women work, right? Like, because when they're not involved in it as much, they don't understand it as much, but I'm sure she does. I'm sure she's super proud of you as I am. And you are developing that life. And you spoke about marriage and like you guys just being the examples that you are. I'm sorry I went over the question, but you guys just being the examples that you are. This is what they need to see. They need to see men like you. Like, they need to know that you exist. They need to not always see the angry, broken version of a man. You know what I mean? So I keep people like you in front of them all the time. They need to hear you, not just because you went to the NFL, not just because you went, but just because you are pushing after your own dreams every single day.
Glory be to God, man. We're just a vessel, man. Just a vessel, man. All praise to the Most High.
Chris, give me a good takeaway. I know you got something queued up. Not to put you on the spot, but you're like me. You always got something ready.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just, man, accountability. I mean, you got chat, you got help from your teachers, your counselors, your parents. You can have all the resources, but always say knowledge isn't power. The execution of knowledge is power. So the resources mean nothing if there's no true cultivation, if there's no true effort, energy, and intentionality that goes behind using the resources and maximizing them along with your network. So the biggest thing is, man, is take accountability for things that you want out of life and take accountability for ensuring that you have the highest probability of becoming the man that you seek to become.
I love that. I love that. My takeaway and my little my hammer time nugget, I guess, would be don't talk about it, be about it. That is a big one. And hearing you talk today made that just come alive in me even more today, because there's a lot of people out there saying they're going to do these things. Well, I could do that. Well, I could do this. Well, Kenya's not doing this. Well, why doesn't Kenya do this? Or why doesn't Chris do this? Or Aaron or Sean? Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. You can talk all the talk you want. Unless you're willing to jump in the trenches with your people, with people you love, like everybody in this room, it's just talk. And there's a lot of talkers out there that don't want to pour back into people, the kids, themselves, society, whatever it might be. But people like the three of us, and Sean included, the four of us in here, we have to continue to be those hammers. And Coach Hancock came on here and gave his definition of a hammer. And he said, it's dependable, it's durable, it's there when you need it, and it gets the job done. And that is the best way to describe the people in this room. Kenya, you are an absolute gem, no pun intended with the GEMS organization, but you are a gem in the community. You are one of the strongest people I've met, let alone being a Black woman in the community in a male-dominated environment. You continue to plant your flag. You do it with faith at the forefront, the love, the culture. Like I said, you make sure that you get outside when you need to get outside, but I can feel the way you love the kids, and I'm a big culture guy. You got to hear it, see it, feel it. You hit all three of those tick marks. So on behalf of the House of Hammers podcast, our Detroit Catholic Central family, and anybody who this podcast might touch, whether they watch the video or listen to it, I would suggest watching it. You can see Lakenya's pink fit on from the We Are Greater pink hoodie down to the black and pink dunk she's got on. Yes. But that's really what it is. Show up for your people. Don't talk about it. Jump into the trenches with them and be about it. And when all else fails, be positive, lead with love and faith, and keep hammering. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Lakenya Burks, we love you. We are greater together.
We are together.
You know we are here for you in anything that you need, whether it's football, basketball, cheerleading, motivation, love, faith. You know that we're here for you. You are part of our family. And now you can't get rid of the two of us. So, and now you got Sean too. So
that's right. That's right.
You got another one of your CC brothers.
Justin's my
Justin,
guy.
absolutely.
Like, we are locked in. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember I told you, because we talked at the beginning about it, and I said, Kenya, when you meet him, give him a chance, keep an open heart, open mind. I said, you will be blown away by the person that he is. And was I right?
You were right. And he's a CC bred. So that's what I noticed, Sean. Everybody in here went to CC.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our cross to bear, but it's one that we're more than willing to bear for our people.
And if you all want more people to come to CC and show up and show out, don't forget to support the 1928 Club. We love it.
Here we go again. This guy throwing a plug in for the 1928 Club every time. I will give a plug to Lakenya and her organization. If you are part of any of those organizations, continue to carry that GEMS flag, because what you guys are doing in multiple communities, not just the city of Detroit, like I said, you've got the Ypsi Braves, who we've got a ton of tradition with, going back to playing Ypsi back in the day, but you are truly spreading such a positive message. We love you for it, and we're proud of you. And just know, you got a few of the biggest CC hammers here in your corner. And it doesn't matter if it's stuff here at school. You know that. I don't care. I love this place, but I love people more than I love Catholic Central, because it's a bigger picture than just holding the positivity inside here. So anything you need us for to help motivate, love, spread positivity, work a game, secure, you name it. You know we're there for you. So just keep being great. We love you. And to those of you out there, regardless of what you're going through, go out, do something positive, pour back into yourself, love yourself, lead with love and faith. And when all else fails, keep hammering. Thank you guys, and we love you.